Yeah, Azure Virtual Desktop Machine Service. So this is very important to understand what is the virtual machine service and what are the types of availability we have. Okay, so when you deploy your virtual desktop, right, in Azure, so you have so many things to consider. There is something called Azure Virtual. Let's say you have a subscription. Okay, so you purchased a subscription and now you wanted to deploy a VM. So you can go and straight away deploy a VM. However, this VM comes with the SLA. Okay, Microsoft will define SLA for this. And by default, if you go and straight away deploy your VMs, you will get 99.9%. It is not like 100%. Okay, still you will have a 1%, like 0.1% downtime. Although everybody thinking that public cloud is highly available, but it's not. You have to check this option very carefully. Azure VMs, and then we have availability set, and then we have availability zone. So just consider the 99.9%, and then we have a 99.95%, and then we have a 99.99%. So if you just go and blindly deploy your VMs, you'll get SLA of 99.9%. So it means you can expect a downtime of 10 minutes per week. So it means 43 minutes of per month. Okay, so Microsoft may do the maintenance or backend upgrade. That time your services, your VMs may interrupt, it may restart, it may reboot, or it may shut down. So it will give you 99.9% availability. So it means 10 minutes of downtime you can expect per week. So it means 43 minutes of downtime. For example, let's say if your application is so critical and you are not ready to bear this downtime. Okay, so then you have one more option called availability is set, which will provide you 99.95%. Again, that will provide you 5 minutes of downtime per week. It is not like there will be a fixed downtime, but there are chances when Microsoft doing maintenance activity in the backend. So that is why Microsoft is first of all telling that you will have a 99.95% only. So it means 5 minutes downtime. So monthly you can expect 21 minutes of downtime. Okay, so again your application is not application is not ready to bear that, and it is very sensitive and you cannot afford downtime. Then you have one more option called availability zone, so which will provide you 99.99% uptime or SLA. So it means you will get only 1 minute of downtime per week and only 4.3 minutes of downtime per month. This is somewhat acceptable for all the companies. So this is the available options when you are going to deploy your VM. So now let's go and deep dive into what is availability set, what is availability zone, and what is Azure region. Okay, so let's take an example to understand what is Azure region. So Azure region is a place where you are going to deploy your VMs. Okay, for example, I have a workload. I'm having a company which is in UAE. So I want to deploy my VMs in Azure. For I need to go to the Microsoft Azure portal and I have to check what are the available regions are available to host my workloads. So since I have a region in my UAE, so like in UAE there are two Microsoft regions. One is UAE North, which is in Dubai. I think I'm not sure Dubai or Abu Dhabi. Another one is UAE Central, which is in again in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, something like that. Either if this is in Abu Dhabi and this is in Dubai, something like that. Okay. So I will choose my region as Azure North, which is will have a less latency. So you can go to the Microsoft portal or Microsoft site where you can check the latency. There is a latency URL also there. So you can check. For example, if I go to my this one and Azure latency test. So if you go to this particular thing, right? So Microsoft will tell you which is the nearest Azure site for you. I think this is some third party site, the Microsoft one. Not this one, something was there, Azure estimator. Yeah, this one. So available region, as you can see, UAE North, which is having only 44 milliseconds. UAE Central, it is 47. So I think this is in UAE. UAE North means Dubai. Okay, so UAE Central is Abu Dhabi, something like that. So see, West India is the 71 milliseconds. So as the distance increases, right, your latency is also increases. So this is the one question many people ask, why my VDA is slow. Like is a common. So it is simple law of physics. The more you have, like the more distance, which is more latency. So as you can see, while as my distance increases, I have a more latency. For example, Brazil, which is way far than UAE, so which will have a 339 milliseconds. So first thing I have to go and I have to choose my region. On which region I have to deploy my VMs. So region is nothing but a place on Azure data center on which you are going to deploy your VM. So now we have selected region. This is my region, which is UAE North. So now comes, as I told you, if I go and directly deploy a VM, I will get 99.9%. So because there is no, much SLA with this, still you have a, 0.1% downtime. So in order to avoid, there is something called availability set. So if you deploy a VMs directly without considering the availability set and availability zones, what it will do, Microsoft will just deploy your VMs in any of their racks on any of their servers. For example, this is a rack. Inside this rack, you will have a server, right? So they will deploy over here. For example, let's say if you are spinning up 5 VMs, so they will place these 5 VMs within the same server. Okay, if they are doing a maintenance on this server, for example, let's say any patch updates or any network update on this racks, etc. So it will impact the entire server. So whatever the VMs you have in this, it will have an impact. So that is why you will have a 99%, 99.9%. So now the thing is, if you select availability set, what will happen within the data center, right? So within the data center, they will have a multiple racks. And inside the multiple racks, you will have multiple servers. So when you are deploying 5 VMs and you will select availability set, what they will do, they will spread these VMs across all the servers and racks. For example, one server will come here, one server will come here, another one here, another one may be here, another one may be here. So if they are doing any maintenance on this specific server or this specific rack also, then still you have availability of another 4 VMs. So only the VMs which will impact, which is hosted here. I hope you guys are clear. So for example, let's imagine you have deploying 100 VDAs. So 100 VDAs will be distributed across all these. For example, 40, 40, 30. So if you are doing, if the Microsoft is doing any maintenance on this particular rack or any server, only these are impacted. Remaining still user can connect. However, if you take earlier example, if you are deploying 100 without availability set, all the 100 will place here. So is there any maintenance on this rack or servers? All the 100 will be impacted. Nobody is able to do any activity unless and until Microsoft brings those VMs back. I hope you're clear with what is availability set and what is the impact of availability set when it comes to the available, highly available or redundancy. Now you may have a question. I have chosen the region, that is fine. And then I have chosen availability set. That is also fine. I deployed 30, 30, 40, 50 VMs, right? That is 60, 40 VMs. Okay. So now everything is fine. And if this is goes down, only this is impacted, remaining is not impacted. What if the complete data center goes down? Now you do, even though if you have availability set also, this cannot help, right? Because you have a complete data center outage. So nobody is able to access your applications or your VDAs unless and until Microsoft brings this data center up. So that's why you have this downtime, which is the second one, which is 99.95%, which is 5 minutes or 21 minutes. So Microsoft is saying that even if you go with availability set also, still you have 0.5% downtime. Okay. So in order to avoid this scenario, data center failure, there comes availability zones. This is a very beautiful concept and my personal favorite. So what it will do, for example, let's imagine you have taken the region, which is UAE North. So when you are choosing availability, the availability zone is nothing but in a single region, which is in UAE North, Microsoft will have a separate data center. 3 data center they will have. This is same for any data center. Even if you take Mumbai or West or anything like South India, like in Chennai, they have a data center. So in any region, Microsoft will have a 3 data center within the region. Always make a note region. Okay, within the region, they have 3 data center. So now what you can do, if you use availability zone, you can deploy your 30 VMs in one data center, and you can deploy your another 30 VM in another data center, and third one 40 VMs in another data center. Okay, even though if your first data center goes down, still you have availability of remaining 70 VMs and user can connect. Okay, so even if your second this is also goes down, still you will have a 40 VMs and 40 user can connect. It is not a 100% outage. Quickly also, if you have any provisioning method, you can quickly deploy another 60 VMs immediately. If you have a Citrix VM, Citrix MCS, or even in AVD also, you can quickly deploy remaining 60 or for a time being on the third VM, unless and until they are bringing this back. So you can minimize the outage. Okay, so this is the brief about Azure region, availability set, and availability zone. So I hope you guys are clear with this concept.